Good morning, children. The next topic we are going to see is week 4, enrichment sheet 1, and the lesson is sun, light, and shadow. Time. Every day, when the sun rises in the east, there is light all around. It is morning. It is time to work and play. The sun makes the days warm and bright. It gives us heat too. When the sun is right above our head, we call it noon. The sun is at its brightest at this time. The sun sets in the evening. Slowly, it begins to get dark. Stars and the moon appear in the sky during these dark hours. It is night. It is night. It is time to sleep, which gives our body rest. Telling the time. Long ago, there were no clocks and watches. During the daytime, people guessed the time by looking at the position of the sun and the length of the shadow. When light cannot pass through an object, a shadow is formed. When our body blocks the path of the light, our shadow is formed on the opposite side of the light. Our shadow moves with us. Shadows are the longest in the morning and in the evening. They are shortest at noon. So our next topic is sun, light, and shadow. So these are the keywords, children. You can see the keywords here. Once I'll read the keywords for you. See, light, time, shadow, bright, morning, noon, evening, night, clock, watch. Everyone take out your EVS classwork book. EVS classwork book. And put the heading as sunlight. My pencil. Sunlight and shadow. Put the heading sun, light, and shadow. And put today's date. Yes, today is 2/12/20. 2nd December. And put the heading as keywords. And start writing the keywords. Leave a line. First one, light. Light, L-I-G-H-T, light. Time, T-I-M-E, time. Shadow, S-H-A-D-O-W, shadow. Bright, B-R-I-G-H-T, bright. Morning, M-O-R-N-I-N-G, morning. Noon, N-O-O-N, noon. Evening, E-V-E-N-I-N-G, evening. Night, N-I-G-H-T, night. Clock, C-L-O-C-K, clock. Watch, W-A-T-C-H, watch. All of you write these keywords. Leave a line and write neatly. You have to learn these keywords. Tomorrow I'll ask you orally. So meanwhile, I'll explain you the keywords. See, you have to write like this. Put the heading, just write keywords and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you have to write. And write neatly. Light. Yes, light. 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 So we get light from sun. So without light, we can't see anything. Yes, time. Time means the daytime or night time or evening time, the position where we are in a day. Time tells that position where we are. For example, now it's 12:35. So we are in the noon time. So time tells that position. Next, shadow. Shadow forms when there is light. If there is no light, shadow will not form. Okay. The dark patch of a substance is called a shadow. Shadows form only when there is light. In dark, shadows will not find. Next, bright. Bright means very so much of light. Bright, see, morning you can see the sun will be very bright, and now also. But when it comes to the evening or night time, sun will not be there. Then that is called brightness. Next, morning. MORNING, morning. When the sun rises, it is called morning. Noon. When the sun is on top of our head, it is called noon. Now it is noon because now it is 12:30. Already it's 12:39. So now it is noon. Next, evening. Evening means when the sun sets, slowly the sun sets, no? That is called evening. Listen, night. Night means completely it is dark. You can't see the sun. Only you can see moon and stars. So that is the night time. Next, clock. Clock means which you can see the time. If it is kept to the wall, it is called a clock. Watch means which you can keep for your hand, wristwatch. You call it as a wristwatch. For example, you can see on my hand there is a watch, wristwatch. So there is a difference between clock and watch. Clock will keep on our, like, will hang to our walls, but watch you will keep to your hand, either your left hand or right hand. So both are, both will show us time only. Only difference is clocks are placed on the walls, watches are kept to our wrist. Wrist means like this hand. Wristwatch, we call it as wristwatch. Okay, these are the keywords: light, time, shadow, bright, morning, noon, evening, night, clock, watch. Everyone should write. Yes, children? Now, yeah, I'll send these words for you. Now you see the explanation. Time. Every day, every day when the sun rises in the east, there is light all around. So the sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east. Yes, sun rises in the east and sun sets in the west. Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So when the sun rises, a new day begins. There is light all around. Yes, and it is called morning. When the sun rises, it is called morning. And it is the time to work and play. So we start our work when the sun rises, when morning time, we start our work. And even children, they play also. And now you're at home, it's okay. But when you come to school, you come to school in the morning. Yes, it is the time to work and play. Next, the sun makes the day warm and bright. It gives us heat and light. So, as the sun comes, what happens? The day becomes warm and bright. Bright means you can see everything clearly. The sun gives us heat and light. So, we get heat and light from the sun is the main source of heat and light. It gives us heat and light, and everything becomes bright, and we can see everything, and it becomes warm also. Next, when the sun is right above our head, we call it noon. When the sun is right above our head, yes, we call it as noon. The sun is at the brightest time, means very brightly you can see the sun because it is right above on our head directly. So that time is called as noon. And when the sun sets, it is evening. So slowly the sun goes down, it sets down, and the sun sets in the west. It is called evening. When it is evening, slowly the evening, the uh, at the evening, slowly what happens? The sky becomes dark. Slowly everything becomes dark, and it becomes completely dark. And when it becomes completely dark, what happens? We can see only moon and stars in the sky. Slowly it begins to get dark. Stars and moon can appear. Sometimes we can see full moon, and sometimes we see only like this half of the moons. We call it as crescent moon. Okay, so sometimes we see full moon and sometimes we see half of the moons. So it is the night time, and night is the time to sleep and give rest to our bodies. Okay, night time what we'll do? We sleep and take rest. Why? Because from morning to evening we do our works, we are busy with our works. See, we'll go to school. Yes, we read, we study, we write, we play, we become tired, and we come back in the evening. And evening also, if you have any works, we do that works. Yes, children. And night time is you have to take your dinner, and you should sleep and give rest to your body. Otherwise, your body will not be healthy. You will not be healthy. You should need a sufficient rest. Next, telling the time. Telling the time means observing what time. So long ago, when there were no clocks, means some like thousands of years back, no, there were no watches, there were no clocks like us. So people, how do they come to know that this is morning, this is afternoon, this is evening? Because of the shadows. So during the daytime, people guess the time by looking the position of the sun. For example, if it is coming early in the morning, sun rises. Then they thought that it is morning. And when the sun is on top of our head, so they thought this is afternoon. And when the sun is slowly setting down, they thought it might be evening. And completely when the sun has gone, it is night time. So like that, people guessed by looking the sun and the shadow. For example, you can see in this picture, see, first picture, position of the sun from your right to left. So it is morning, then noon, then evening. And in the next picture, you can see number one, sun rises in the east. Number two, slowly it comes. Number three, noon time. Number four, again, starts slowly, evening starts. And number five, completely sunsets in the west. And after that, it becomes dark and night. When the light cannot pass through an object, a shadow is formed. So, till now, I have said that people observed the shadow and they came to know about the time. But how this shadow is formed? So, when the light cannot pass through an object, a shadow is formed. So, like this. So, if you are standing in front of a light, yes, our shadow will form on back side, opposite side. When a light cannot pass through an object. So light cannot pass through us. That's why our shadow will form on the opposite side. When our body blocks the path of the light, our shadow is formed on the opposite side of light. Our shadow moves with us. Okay? As our body moves, our shadow also moves. If we stand at a place, our shadow also will stand at a place. So this is the way how the shadow is formed. Shadows are long in the morning and evening and short in the afternoon. Why? Because morning and evening the sun rays fall slantingly, and noontime it is on our head, the sun is on our head. That's the reason the shadow is very short. So this is about the shadow. Evening and morning the shadows are long, and noontime they are short. You can see the tree here. Number A, B, C, D. A and D are morning and evening. B and C are noon time. So morning and evening, what happens? The shadow is long because of the slanting rays. But B and C, sun is on top of our head. So that's the reason shadows are short. So this is about the sun, light, and shadow.